Thank you for the patience. So I'm gonna call on stage Massimiliano. Massimiliano is the co-founder at Ada and the creator of Convergent Marketing. So Massimiliano, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Take this.
I'll take one of these. Very well. Oops. Yeah. Very well. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Good morning on this raining day. So, here okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, I'll take from here?
Yeah, take it from here.
Okay, thank you very much. So, welcome. I would welcome the other people of the panel here with us. Today we're going to talk about how to disrupt an existing market through innovative digital marketing. So, as you can see on the panel with me today, you have Leonardo Caracas, Alexian Chiavegado, and Yamil Erasti, and myself, of course, Massimiliano Brigida. So it will take about 30 minutes. Matt, how long we have? 30? 45. Okay, good. So it's going to be around 45 minutes. I think 40 minutes, and then we will ask you to ask us some quant question if you want. It depends on where we are. So I would probably make themselves present. So starting from Yamil.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yamil Erasti. I am the Area Director of Marketing for Marriott Hotels for the Southern Europe region.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the CMO at Marfil, a company here in Barcelona.
Hi, my name is Leo. I'm the director of GoCase.
Okay, thank you, guys. What are we gonna? I mean, I've known these guys no longer ago, probably a week ago, through social networks because they mentioned that we are share this panel together, and it's a very strange thing. We all came from different business, you know, from B2B, B2C, accommodation, software or product itself. But so our strategy are completely different, if you want, in terms of going to the market. But something really we got in common is that we have been disruptive in some way our strategy, our company, using digital marketing. So that's, I mean, it's a real fact. It's something really happened. So I probably will start from Alex. I read, I took you in a moment of disruption. So Alex, I know you have in your company two sort of products. I've been reading a little bit about what you're doing, and you have these two brands, and one is for, of course, small publishers. And in that one, you've been very disrupting. Can you tell us a little bit more of how to do it and how, in a sort of way, if you use digital marketing for that?
Yeah. So actually, it's very important. I don't see any of you, but if you have any question, do not hesitate to stand up and make some noise or something, so I can see you and you can ask. So Marfil, when at its inception 8 years ago, was really dedicated to big size and large size publishers, right? And in order to provide them with a solution that will help them to monetize better the publications, right? So those guys are big, they know everything, you know, they are hard to sell. Yet, you have those little publishers that no one really cares. They are the bloggers, they are your mom, your sister, yourself maybe, liking a topic, writing about it, but would like to make some 100 euros or 1,000 euros, depending on what stage you are in. And no one in the industry were caring about them unless to ask them for money. So we built Marfil, and we're like, okay, what if we decide to package Marfil in one single plugin for WordPress, the most common CMS system around the world. Over 50% of the website run on it. It's free as well. So why not trying to do that? So what we did is wrapped it up, and we give it for free. So giving that for free means giving the entire power, 200 engineers here in Marfil developing a product that now is free, the best-in-class solution, and it sounds like it's easy to market. However, it's not easy to market. Why? Because someone that is not his job to make money out of a blog or a content-based website is not going to be someone that is willing to invest too much time. So you need to have a product that works very well, give a quick return on investment, and start to change the life of people. So what channel do you use? Well, I think first, and you know what is important, is to know where your disruption is going to come from. If it's pain-free, if it's risk-free, and if it's money guarantee, you will go for it, right? Who in the room will not take a double-digit increase of your salary tomorrow? Exactly, no one. Everybody wants more money, right? So that was the idea. No competition, high value, let's do it. So we went and we tried in different markets. So we went for more Central European markets. And we got few websites, fairly large, to start to tell us they liked it, give us some feedback about what we should do better. Power of feedback digitally is very important. We like it to be very quick, very dynamic, and basically what we have to do is to create a company within the company that can move much faster, right? And with that, what we've seen is in one of the Central European country, a beautiful traction, a case studies, right? So we can see the revenue doubling month after month on this country, making basically the country in terms of revenue 500,000. So for you guys that have a startup, within 6 months I was making 500,000. It's pretty decent. It's pretty cool. For a product line, we didn't know we were actually do money out of it quickly. And then what we had is the influencers, right? Because then what we realized in a tech world, digitally, there is 2 types of influencers. There is the actual guy that has the best cooking blog that is going to say, hey, I use this product, so the other cooking blog will love it. So that's your digital influencers. But also the tech influencers, which are the hardest to convince. And I don't know if there is any tech people in the room, and I don't want to be offensive, but wow, that's so hard to convince to say your product is good because no, this line of code is not great. This, no. So what we've decided is to penetrate a market that was not being used because not enough money, not enough potentiality. And what we looked at is this global value, and we said, let's try. And like that, we have a product that fits the top market, and we have a product that fits the smaller market. Together, they work in synergy, because then I managed to get enough traction on a territory that I don't have the classic B2B, face-to-face, old-fashioned, let's meet again to sign a contract. But then I have some name in those countries for my sales team on the other side to go after and to create. So basically, it has been used as a penetration tool, but not only, because by itself, my cost of acquisition is just perfect, and by itself, it's a product line. That's how I've done it.
Great. I mean, I've heard something about when we talk, but your full explanation really made me understand how, how sometimes easy appears, no? What you said is very easy to do, but, some way you have to think about it. And when you think, you have to, probably the most difficult thing in the company is when you have a strategy. We have a lot of strategy here. We think a lot of stuff, but put that strategy on that works is probably the most difficult thing. Thank you very much, Alex. Now, getting to strategies, probably Yamil. Well, probably you are the one that less presentation needs, in terms of Marriott's. We were having fun behind the stage with Yamil saying probably that, guys, everybody here has slept in a Marriott. Because probably what you don't know, or what we don't know, that Marriott has 30 brands and goes from a really low cost accommodation to the very luxury accommodation. Well, I've learned that starting a little bit information that Yamil sent it to us, and I'm pretty sure that everybody slept in a Marriott hotel. But how do you disrupt the market using digital marketing with the 30 brands? I mean, for me, using one brand is already complicated. So how did you? I mean, what if you can give us some sort of information about how? You're doing in Marriott, or you're doing in Southern Europe, which is your area of competition. Okay.
Okay, so yes, I'm probably the anti-startup here in the group. But actually, Marriott runs or it tries to run with a startup spirit. So basically, the way we do it, and I don't know how many of you know, but Marriott acquired Starwood, which was another hotel chain, 3 years ago. So we're still in the post-integration phase. There is a lot of learning, there's a lot of things coming, but we're already starting to see some of the results. So Marriott moved, and I can't remember the number of brands, probably 20 to 30 with the Starwood. And with the Starwood, he gained very iconic brands, right? He got St. Regis, we got W Hotels, Westin, Sheraton, very iconic hotel brands. So the way we try to disrupt and try to balance, but let's start from the beginning. We do need the 30 brands, and we want the 30 brands, right? Just in Barcelona, from the hotels I support, because I don't support all of the hotels in Barcelona, I have 5. And I need those 5 hotels to be under different brands so I can target different customers. So 30 brands is good, probably more, better, right? So the way we do this is, and this is where startup starts, we break it by disciplines, right? So we have a very solid digital structure supporting the company and the hotels from the digital perspective. We have a very solid and specific approach to branding, to protect the brands we have. Probably you know a very strong loyalty program that has just been relaunched and rebranded, and a very strong, or in the process to become a very strong PR and communication strategy. All that is continent-based, so we have a global structure, but then we have continent-based. And the reason and the challenge we do, or the way we deal with disrupting a market, is by balancing whatever the company wants at the global level. It passes it on to the continent, where we translate those strategies and we make sure those are relevant to the markets as well as to the markets we try to target. And of course, we leverage from the hotel's expertise and business priorities. We take those up again as to kind of give feedback to the system, right? So my position is kind of the way we disrupt marketing. I'm sitting in the middle. So I'm not an expert on anything, and at the same time, I know everything, right, in the company. I support Southern Europe, and I'm the one that connects what brand, loyalty, digital, and communications from the global and European perspective do, and I implement that in Southern Europe. And I'm the one that takes all the knowledge hotel has and priorities, and I feed back to the company. So that's kind of how we work. All these 4 disciplines are equally important. I will say that the biggest challenge for us right now is on technology, right? Because that's where everything is going, that's where digital sits. But everything is important. So we treat a digital strategy or a digital campaign as equal as our branding, as our brand campaigns, or as our more PRable or communication stories. And we treat our loyalty program as another brand. And we balance all that, right? Maybe some of the things we do in the US are completely not relevant, or not maybe, a lot of the things we do in the US are not relevant in Europe. Some of the things we do in the UK are completely not relevant in Spain. So by having these kind of like discipline-led roles in the organization, we manage to balance things out and make sure that whatever is implemented, it really has a meaning, it really makes an impact, it makes sense, and in a way it disrupts the market. I don't know if that was clear.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I overcomplicated things, but really, if there's one thing you need to remember, branding is crucial, digital is equally important, communication is equally important, and if you have some sort of database or a loyalty program, it's equally important because it's cheaper to retain than to attract new customers, right? So that will be the 4 disciplines that drives our disrupting strategies, for example, for each market.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emil. I mean, let me get this clear. When we're talking about disruption, today, these disruptive terms has been even a Google Trends very high. You know, like I had the chance to live in San Francisco some time ago, and if you want to do something, it was disrupting. So we want to disrupt the technology, we want to disrupt the strategy, we want to disrupt something. Because this disruptive is something really, you know, people love it. You know, in Spanish, we don't have this word, rompedor, no? I think it's not, it doesn't even make the sense of disruptivo, no? And of course, Yamil, I mean, we were talking about this with also with Alex and Leonardo behind. I mean, today, to communicate, we do digital. You know, there is not possible to have a marketing strategy without talking about digital. I mean, we have a marketing strategy without the other channel, but the digital is there. Because wherever we post something in our social, we do an email marketing, that's digital. I mean, so don't worry about the thing is, I don't know how much how much digital innovation digital is, but you know, I'm more interested about the disruptive things you're doing, and of course, you know, the way of communicating from a brand to a brand, even if it's under the same group, is exactly the same thing. So don't worry. Talking about disruption. Yes, Alex.
There is something that is very important, and people in the room need to know, I think, is we all know what is GDPR, right? I'm trying to crunch a bit because I have the projector on my face and I can't see anyone. So GDPR, everybody knows? No? Yes. Kind of. Okay.
We better know, yeah.
So GDPR, basically, it's a regulation that is making us being very careful with personal data. Okay? And what is digital? What we talk about digital is mostly about advertising and how we use those data. And data is, digitally can be database, right? And this is what the core of GDPR are doing. What data can you host and can you have? So on that, we have very, very difficult things to do. And if you want to disrupt your market, if you want to disrupt anything, and I think you use it correctly, disruption is being used everywhere, from a digital data standpoint, is going to be more and more and more complicated, okay? And we will need to find other ways. And the second thing is advertising. You know, first things you are thinking is all about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever Tuesday is now. It's all about advertising and your power to buy. I think we don't have anybody from e-commerce Amazon in the room, but that would be very interesting to know the numbers over this weekend. But what it means is we're going toward a world that is going to be cookie-less. So no more tracking of you. The ones that are using iOS today, and they are updated to iOS 13, they are not using the same tracking. However, Apple is using its own tracking system, but that's another conversation. But it's going to be very hard to disrupt. Meaning what? Meaning for Marriott to try to retarget some of their users. Legally, they won't be allowed in some extent in Europe. And California regulation is coming soon in place. They've been extended, but it's coming soon. And they won't be able to make remarketing on iOS devices. That's a problem. How are we going to do? And this is when the disruption from an advertising standpoint, therefore marketing, digital marketing standpoint, is going to come from the next few years. Because as marketers, as business owners, we want to make more money and we want to use the power of the data we are gathering from our users or buyers or potential buyers. And that's going to be, I think, one of the biggest disruption is going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years when we will find technologically a way to still market without cookies and without data.
Okay. Thank you.
That's going to be pretty interesting.
Thanks. Really good point. So talking about disruption, Leonardo, how are you?
Hi.
You can come a little bit forward, yeah. Come and sit not close to me this time.
That's okay. Yeah, it's fine.
So you are a disruptive guy, a Brazilian to create a company and that goes to Holland. You know, that doesn't make sense for a Brazilian.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I don't know how many of you know GoCase, but I will briefly tell the story. So we are a brand for mobile accessories. We try to be a fashion brand for mobile accessories, and we started in 2015. So we started back in Brazil in 2015, and the way we disrupt the market or we grew and we find means to really differentiate was via social media. And if we're going to tell this, it's an interesting story to just demonstrate the hurdles you have to go through to understand how to disrupt or how to come up with innovative solutions. We thought there was a gap in the market. In the phone case business, we thought everything was dull and there was more of the same, and we thought, okay, let's try to integrate design and make phone cases that are really appealing to people based on the design. We start to try to market this for companies on a B2B level. No one believed in us, thought it was a stupid idea and it was never going to work and it was too expensive. And then on a kind of desperate mode, we said, okay, let's try B2C and let's try to market directly to consumers and see if we actually have an idea here. We tried a little bit. We tried to sell on local points, going into some paradisiac beaches, setting up a small stand, and it still was not working that much. And then all of a sudden comes Carnival, and there is a really hit song of Carnival, and we thought, okay, let's try to make an Instagram profile, and let's try to make a design around this song, and let's see what happens. And then it was boom. It really flew, and we thought, oh, okay, now we got it. It's not just about creating the design, it's creating something that is trendy, that is matching people's interests, personalities, characteristics, etc. And we thought, okay, there's a path. And ever since, and based on social media, of course, because we really reached a lot of people with our message and with our products in a very short time frame and in a very impactful way. You know, it was not us setting up a small stand on specific locations, trying to get permits, etc. It was really, hey, there's a platform here with, if we do it right, we reach a lot of people very fast and put our products out there. And that has been the way ever since. We started in Brazil in 2015. We expanded internationally in 2016. We have sold to over 130 countries. We became the biggest in social media for our market. So there's over 2 million followers in Facebook and over 2 million followers on Instagram. And this was by constantly trying new ways to validate our products, to validate our ideas, to market the product without actually having high cost to market that product. So we use our own community in Instagram to validate which are the best designs, which are the best trends, which are the best messages, and how can we find and serve trends and hypes that we see in the internet to say, hey, if we see now that there's another hit song on a global level now, we try to understand if there's a big audience for that song, and we try to make a design around it. And this goes for football, TV shows, whatever we think that has a high potential to make an impact and people see themselves in the products. And we started that with phone cases, and now there's over 10 product lines with customization and design, so adding your name, a picture, initial, and a design that reflects your style. So we started phone cases, now there's cables, power banks, headphones, backpacks, and a bunch of other things.
Great. See, yeah, I mean, 4 million followers on social network in 4 years, that's a great number. Well done. I mean...
Yeah, it was not easy, but we...
No, we didn't say it's easy. I say well done because I know how hard it is to get followers, to engage them.
Yeah.
Especially to engage them, because you can buy for millions of followers, but are they engaged? Are they engaging with the brands to the social networks? You have a lot to work with it.
Yeah, of course, and it's working towards engagement metrics all the time to understand. And one thing is really important. What Alex mentioned about GDPR, but when we are at it's our bread and butter, but we're also, as we were discussing earlier, we're at the mercy of platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google. If they change their algorithm, we have to change the way we work. So when we started, many of you remember that Instagram used to work on a kind of timeline basis. So whatever is the most recent post will appear in your timeline. And that changed. And now you don't have likes on Instagram. So people don't see the likes. And then you're trying to constantly, okay, what do I have to do now to be faster than everyone that's around me, to understand how the algorithm is working or how people are engaging with this content, and this content is spreading faster and faster. So it's intuitive after you understand that if you don't move fast and you do understand the new constraints and you don't see that people around you are also trying to figure that out, then yeah, that's the disruption part.
I mean, we are always at the mercy. We've been talking about this, I will say something very interesting. We always are at the mercy of the channels, especially social media. They change so fast, and we have to be there. But anyway, we have to be at the mercy of the channel, because even if you want to drive your audience or your traffic to your web using Google, you have to be at the mercy of Google. And God knows how many times how much time and constantly they change the algorithms, that some sort of advertising or text or words that works today don't work in 2 days. So, if you do business, we need a channel. But probably, and this is something very interesting, this make me understand that, the why you open the pop-up stores. And this is great. It's a great story. I mean, I believe your consumer are millennials, I don't see like my mother would personalize a
Well,
case,
you'll
a
be
mobile. I don't know.
surprised.
Probably my mother from the south of Italy, she won't do it. But you know, mainly your consumers should be millennials. No, they will.
Mainly, it's around 18 to 34. It's
Okay.
within the biggest range, that one. But we have customers from every age.
Yeah, that is great because those guys. I mean, I've got a kid. I've got my son is 14. He's almost teenager. Those guys are digital. So how you made these digital native people? This is a very disruptive thing. Take digital native people, bring them back to the offline. That is, it's back to the future in some way. You're getting back what is everybody here probably is running from having offline stores. So I'm sure you use the social networks to do that, and that is, it's very related to this matter. So how did you do? I mean, what idea, and technically, how you bring people to come to your shops? Because this is you're doing in Brazil, you're doing in Holland. It's not just the way the country works better than other. Do you think really people want to get back to the?
Yeah, so that's an interesting, how to say, learning from this last couple of years. We see digital and the internet blowing up, and you reach a lot of people, and a lot of people see your brand, see your products. But then you also see that a lot of people need the physical experience. They need to touch the product. They need to see it. They need to fully understand it when it's in front of them, not as a digital mock-up or image in a website. And when you don't have that, you missed out on a lot of customers. So from the younger age to the older age, we have a brand that is very skewed to women. And when we open the pop-up store, we actually see a lot of men as well coming in. But the website is not skewed to men, so that kind of backs people up. So having a physical location was very important for us as a brand to pass the full spectrum of our products, of how you can customize them, of how they touch and feel, the quality, and experience the whole purchasing thing, yeah? So just to give you an example, what we do in the pop-up store is in our website, if you buy today, tomorrow we produce and we ship out. So it's very fast. And it's something that is not there, that you put your name or you put a picture or you just design. So it's really fast. It's ultra fast fashion. And we try to bring the same experience to the shop, because we think that if we have a limited stock of products in the shop, people are just going to say, but I really wish you had this one with my name. I said, okay, we need to have that in the shop. So we enable a system that you could order, you could customize it immediately in the shop, and you get it back in 2 hours. So we replicate the online experience offline. Now people could see it, touch it, and now customize it with our help, say, oh, what do you like? You like unicorns? Okay, let's go and find unicorns here with your name on it, So that brought that kind of experience. And how we bring people to the offline experience is really using social media as well, and all the strategies we found out of organically and on paid advertisement of how to bring traffic that is located around to our store is really using all the strategies we can, both on social media and also on email, to bring the customers and people that are around and detect the people that are most likely to come or bring their parents or friends to the store. So really knowing in depth the platform and what are the functionalities or strategies that you can use to bring people online. Yeah. So just an example. Yeah. Giveaways is very big online. Yeah. So we made a giveaway. Come to the store, collect your code on the store for people that were on a 1 kilometer radius of the store and participate on the giveaway. So this was a way to bring traffic to the store, and that worked.
Using digital, social network. I mean, today it's a fact. In fact, one of the thing I'm a convergent marketing creator, which is a methodology of work to transform a visitor, somebody stranger, to a brand ambassador. Because my idea is it's the same exactly what we're saying here. your client, it's very complicated to get new clients. It's very complicated. I mean, you need to keep, or once you get it, you don't need to pay twice, no? As you said. Why you want to pay twice? Because he's on Instagram, he's on LinkedIn, he's otherwise. So once you took it, you need to have a strategy to take them on board, to do generation nurture them, manage them, in order for them to buy one time. And this takes me to news I've read or something I knew about Marriott, because if we take the disruption to accommodation, Airbnb, it's example of disrupting. You know, these guys in few years or few months probably have been the biggest. Is it? Can I say that? Or is it the biggest group in accommodation today? Airbnb, is it? So, you know, that is an example. I think, you know, those new companies like Airbnb now talking to Yamil at Marriott, and I read that you are creating your own sort of Airbnb, you know, called Villas and Homes and Villas. That's great. I mean, that is responding to the market. Of course, you know, I read it in a digital content. So, of course, you are disruptive. But can you tell us a bit more about, you know, this idea is great. I mean, I think responding to something that is attacking, you know, this is like, it's incredible. And I believe you are the first one doing that as a group.
Sorry, okay.
Okay.
Okay, this will be my personal. I don't like following. So I think Marriott Common Villas is reacting is not good. I think you need to take this digital marketing a little bit back, and I like your story, Leonardo, because I think that's exactly what we need to do. And I go back to your questions on Airbnb. The biggest struggle right now is that there is a ton of people that knows digital marketing, how to do SEO, paid campaigns, and we focus so much on the channel and we forget about the story. And the only thing that resonates is the story that you have behind, no? The way you create it. And the only way you can create a story that resonates in marketing is if you pay attention to whatever is happening in the culture, in your environment, in your community, what people want, how your product adds value. And then based on that, you build a story, right? It's funny because, and I completely changing the question now, but I wanted to make this point because I was part of a presentation from Vice Media where they explained the process, how they do storytelling, right? And they put this example, and it's a shame that I forget how, but if you go on YouTube and you look for relaxing water sounds, something like that, there is a 1 hour recording there that has 48 million visualizations. And it's made by this couple, two guys that I think they're called the real guys, right? No branding, nothing to say, but they found something that people needed. And they put it out there. They didn't put money behind, and it got like still running, right? So if you go for it, it looks like the cheapest marketing, poor visual, poor creative, right? To me, that Marriott launched Airbnb competitor now, it's probably a bit late, no? But it's good that we're trying. I mean, it's fair. To me, what the key is, so you don't follow, is to listen to the community, to listen to what's happening in the world, to listen to what's happening in the pop culture, and see if there is a need there. And if your product has solved that particular need, great, then market for it. And if you have money, then put some money to pay campaigns on digital and whatever, on content. But make sure that people know, make sure that you're able to translate that and improve people's lives. If your product doesn't respond to that, either you change it, or either you find a way to make it resonate, right? I had the chance also to work for, and I'm telling you this because I'm guessing all of you are starting a company, and I'm trying to share as much as I can from what I've seen from the corporate world. I admire a lot of startups because I think it's brave, and it's great that we do this. It's interesting because I had a chance to work a lot of years ago, actually, when that photo was taken, for Apple, the biggest company. Apple doesn't care about SEO or optimizing websites. They care about the story. And I was responsible to drive people to the store in Paseo de Gracia when we opened. And it was all about the story. My responsibility was to identify what were the needs in the community and then translate how technology can make people's lives better through that technology and create opportunities for people to learn that. So driving in marketing ways, driving traffic to the store, marketing ways, exposing products, but it was never really sell. I was never really asked to sell. It was really just find a need, translate it, and make sure we give back to the community. And that's what I do now in hotels. I have to justify a 500-700 euro suite in a market that is struggling, and that doesn't sell on its own, right? And the majority of the campaigns we do and the majority of the marketing we do is never really about the rooms or the bed or the sheets or how clean they are. It's all about the stories we make. The problem is that everybody's doing that. Storytelling is not new. So to me, the only way to disrupt a market and avoid following is to find what the people need and make sure you provide a solution and you improve lives. And when you do that, when you find a way to express yourself better through your mobile, and you provide that service, then the rest is magic. You don't even need to put money behind a campaign. Take a look at the example on The Real Guys. I think it's interesting. No money was there, and they have more visualization than many brand campaigns. We had collaborations with Vogue magazine, and with this content, a video in the St. Regis Rome Hotel for the launch. 500,000 production, 500,000 budget on paid advertising on YouTube. We got 500,000 visualizations so far. The couple guys with the water sounds have 40 million, 40,000 million, I don't even remember, for free. And to me, that was shocking, right? So what is digital marketing? A channel. What's the core thing? What's your story? How you add value? Who are you talking to? And how relevant you are in this noisy environment where we no longer control data, right? GDPR is which I think is a good thing. Maybe it's not a good thing for a marketeer, but I think it's good that we force ourselves to be more creative. So in terms of the Airbnb question, which I completely went off, we're doing these Marriott rooms and villas, and what we're doing is we are leveraging, which is also important on marketing, we're leveraging on what makes us stronger, which is the standardization of a hotel, which some people hate, no? But some people actually like to go to a hotel and have a nice bed and a shower that works, which in Airbnb sometimes is not the case. So we're leveraging on that strength. We know how to do those things, and we offer you the individualization of a home in a city, but with the foundation of service that you will expect in a five-star hotel. So of course, prices are expensier than Airbnb, but you at least have the certainty. And we add more value, no? So we added a nanny service in case you want to leave the kids, or amenities for newborns, or things that Airbnb cannot do. But that's how we're gonna.
No, but
that's gonna disrupt in that particular segment of our business.
Can I just complement something you said?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important what you said about telling the story, and more to that, the biggest substance there is the content. I mean, I cannot stress enough that nowadays, digital marketing and everything revolves about content. It's content, content, content. If you don't have content that wows people or that really grabs their attention, you're doomed to fail, because people have a very short attention span today, thanks to social media mainly. You're scrolling through a feed of whatever app you have, be it TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram, on extremely high speed. And if you don't have a content that is really appealing enough or grabs your attention, you're out. You're discarded so easily. And discarding so easily might have cost thousands of euros, you know? Might have cost thousands of euros to make a video, to think about the script, think about the idea, but it's discarded in half a second, yeah? And if you don't have that content, and very important nowadays to understand that content doesn't necessarily mean high-end productions of like we used to see before on television commercials. Now you have very, excuse my French, shitty type of content because people have an iPhone camera, they make something with their, put a background music behind, post it, and it's a boom. And that's why social media networks like TikTok are thriving nowadays. And that is used not only for viral things, but to tell a story as well. To tell a story about the product, to tell a story about an unpacking, to tell a story about the problem that people are having, and the solution that a product or a service might come in hand. But it's all about the content. If there's no content good enough for the audience that is seeing it, there is no game.
Yeah, and to add, the thing is, I read it's in actually a Forbes article. I don't know how many of you are marketeers, but apparently marketing is supposed to disappear because it's getting so complex, or the role of the marketing director is going to disappear because marketing is getting so complex. So in a way, you need to be creative to produce content, but be analytical to analyze data, but know how to do a copywriting at the same time. You know what I mean? And it is getting like that. One example of that, so in regards, it's not only complex, but it's fast now. No, you don't have time to big productions anymore. You don't have time to big videos because by the time you're done, the trend is gone, right? A good example of this, which I love how they do it, and I think it's brilliant, and I would love to know more, is Balenciaga. Have any of you followed Balenciaga on Instagram? It's the purest quality photography ever. It's so bad that I'm sure it's on purpose, but I mean, I don't even, it could be that they have this massive production to make it look cheap, or maybe it's actually that it's cheap. But take a look at it. Take a look at the following. Take a look how they show their products. To me, it's brilliant how a luxury brand, such as Balenciaga, that has an ad in the Biennale in Venezia, is pretty much marketing themselves on Instagram through snaps. And they don't even write anything, so no hashtag, not anything. And that brings me to another thing that is equally important as storytelling and content, branding. As long as you remain loyal to your brand and to your positioning, people will get it. It will take time, but it will get it. So one of the things I do with the team of marketeers I work with is that I always tell them, don't fall for the shiny things, right? Because algorithm changed, we have new platforms, we have new ways of marketing, and some of them are pretty, and it's very easy for a marketeer to just jump into whatever, go first. To me, before jumping into everything, first be loyal to yourself and see, does that make sense to my brand? Does that actually build my reputation, build what I stand for, or not? If it doesn't, don't even waste your time. In my case, for example, Pinterest for a hotel. Sorry, it was Pinterest, the previous one, but it's a channel that it doesn't make sense for a hotel to do. Right? Invest resources in it because it's more for the consumer, and it works in a different ways, and I'm sure that one of our brands is actually using it. But when it comes to resources, we need to be where we need to be, and we need to also not be where we don't need to be, right? In order to strengthen the brand. Yeah.
Yamil, going to the end. Alex, want to say something?
Yes.
We have probably 2-3 minutes. Then we'll ask if any question would come from the audience. Alex?
What we need to look at is when we took the example of Apple, but actually, even though the advertisers are using an iPhone to make a cheap advertising, Apple uses high-res, completely mental advertising for it, okay? So it's kind of like very funny. Now, would you buy a Ferrari if you have a shitty photo? No. Would you buy, there is some brands, you need to be careful how you want to position your brand. And I think the Balenciaga example could be very interesting to look at it from a case study standpoint to see why are they going that way. But I think it's about to relate with the audience they want to target the most, right? Maybe they don't target the mom and the grandmothers anymore, but the younger generation. However, if you are Mango or you are H&M or you are Another Stories, you want to lift up the game and you need to prove that you're high value, and the content, your content is very important. The second thing is, I'm gonna wrap up on that one, is about disruptions. We are currently working on what mobile advertising should look like, because this guy is willing to spend a lot of money on the publication that I represent, right? El Confidencial, for instance, here in Spain. And he has money to spend, and I have the technology to accommodate him. Now, if my ads are the same looking like 1994, He's not really interested in that, so it's very performance marketing. This guy is looking not for performance marketing, he's looking for brand marketing, okay? And I need my disruption where I'm gonna make tons of money is gonna be to find an ad format, so something that looks like way more interesting. In what sense? Interaction and telling a story, okay? Just one example can come to your mind. Imagine if you're on your phone, you read the news, and suddenly Nintendo gives you an ad where it's actually Mario Bros. You can interact with Mario Bros. You know, Mario, and do stuff with him on the screen. Because you're all digital on your phone with your finger. You will interact with the ad, and that has value, money in terms of brand. Imagine if you are, you know, the W here, and you start to play with exploring a room where you need to find the coupon code. I don't know. Then you can basically redefine what mobile advertising should be. And this disruption is what we are looking for the upcoming years. Because brand, we know that in terms of marketers, brand budgets are growing faster than performance budget. Okay. So that means there is big money needs to be made. As a startup, it's kind of complicated. At what point should you start to invest in brand? Well, you start with yourself, you know. If you are a single person running the show, you are the brand. And you need to work on that, and then step by step to grow. But there is little ways of growing your brand, but it's to be very consistent. And that's very important, unique and consistent.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you guys. I mean, I will just finish this because Yamil says something that, you know, we are in this business, and say the marketing manager will not exist. You know, but I believe everything. I believe the webs, they're not going to exist in the future. You know, I don't know if some of you is a startup. I work for, I stay in some hubs of incubator hubs here in Barcelona. I'm a mentor of a few of them for startups. Are startups that have not created their own page, web page, are creating the Instagram page. They don't care about, you know, driving the consumer to the web. So I probably believe, or if you have a web page, it's going to be completely virtual assistant. We're going to talk to machines. And this is, I will close this panel with this. I mean, Gartner, we are partnered with Gartner. They say that the future is on a mobile conversation. And if you think, I'm a marketeer, you know, that's my job. If you think, what is the base of the market, or the marketing? That your brand communicates with the consumer, the potential consumer. To communicate, you have to create relationships. Relationships is creating by talk. You know, the most human thing we have is talking. You know, I can make a conversation or a relation with some of you by talking. So brands need to talk to the consumer. And we're going to use artificial intelligence and mobile, because we are more and more on the mobile. So that is what Gartner is, the trends are going towards mobile. So Alex, you will be more than happy. Trends are going to, you know, voice assistants. How many of you have a voice assistant at home? HO, Google, whatever it is. Few hands. Hey, let's make a meeting. 3 years' time, we get back here, everybody's going to have one. It's like today, ask who has a smartphone. You're going to be, this guy is crazy. What do you mean who has a smartphone? Everybody has one. You know, the next step is the voice. And you will see that probably we will work in a computer with no keyboards. We will talk to the screen. Because what we do now, we're talking by hand. But more and more, millennials or my kids, they don't write, they just talk. So that is probably the way of disrupting the next market with digital. It's going by voice, virtual assistants, and of course going on mobile where the consumer lives. But anyway, I see that everybody's leaving hands to say you have to finish, because probably it's a coffee break. I don't know if I don't remember the program. There is any questions you want to make? If you're too shy to do it, we probably can answer you on the coffee breaks or around when we meet you here. If there's any questions, we will take it, probably one or two. I don't see Matt. No, we have time? One or two? Anyone want to make a question? We don't see a lot here because we have lights in front of us. So I don't know if there is any hands raised. Well, no, there's no hands raised, Matt. Well, thank you very much to Leonardo. Thank you very much to Alex. Thank you very much to Yamil. Has been hopefully very interesting. Matt, I will give you the computer, the microphone. Thank you, and we'll see you around.